So America has one huge problem. I'm going to be honest. This is something that I've seen from experience now, not once, but twice, like in my last two jobs, the current job that I'm in and the last one that when I was working for U.S. government. There is one huge problem. I think it's safe to say this is not one that we can ignore for too much longer. And the good news is that, I mean, I look at the demographics of the people that watch this channel. I think for about half of you, this is going to be super good news. But even if you don't fall into this category, no worries. There's still a ton of opportunity for you out there. The huge problem, if you're an American and you're learning this stuff, let me just say there is a dire need for you. But even no matter what country you're in, there's a huge need for you in this field as well. We're seeing more and more companies shift to that model of hiring from, internationally as well, and the work from home model and all of that. But there's a huge, huge shortage of qualified pen testers in the US. And why does this necessarily matter if they're in the US or not in the US? Well, usually it doesn't. I mean, for the company in particular, they might be looking to hire someone from a particular country. Maybe they're based in the US and they just have a preference to have their team in the same, relative area. Like I said, a lot of times now they're shifting away from that to a more, location independent type of setup. But I mean, that is something that could come into play. But really, the largest area where this absolutely comes into play is when it comes to government jobs, government cybersecurity jobs, government pen testing roles, especially. So if you didn't know, one thing about working for the government in any capacity, even if you're a private sector, you work on the private sector like I do now, I'm in the private sector, but some of the pen testing I do is for products that the government uses. Literally the only way that I'm legally allowed to do that is the fact that I am a US citizen. So now why does this matter overall, and why does this matter to you? Well, the reason that it matters, right, is that if you are an American, if you're a US citizen and you're skilled, you gain this skill set in pen testing, in red teaming, then there are a lot of opportunities out there for you that are just waiting to be filled. Now, at my current company where I work, they've been looking to fill this role for quite some time. I would say at least 4 to 6 months before I even joined the team. And I joined the team back in November, and they're still looking for a second person to fill this role. And they've done tons of interviews on people. The main issue is that no one was qualified. Now, I'm sure the next natural question is, well, what does qualified mean? What constitutes as, you being qualified? Well, really, there's a number of things that go into it. Obviously, there is you have to be able to get your foot in the door somehow. I am not going to say that you need a degree or anything like that, or that you even need a certain certification. Now, all of those things, of course, they can help you get past the HR filters. If you have a solid resume and if you have a solid like LinkedIn, or you're on Twitter and people know you, there's a good chance that you get approached by a hiring manager or an HR person, basically, let's just say, to reach out to you and give you that opportunity. That's actually how I've gotten pretty much every single job that I've ever had outside of my very first one that I got from the career fair in college. So those opportunities are available to you if you have like a decent, resume, a portfolio, what have you, right? But then, there's also, if you can get in through networking, that's a huge opportunity as well. So say now the conferences are back in the game again. If you go to a conference, you network with someone, they really take a liking to you, then that could be a great way to get your foot in the door, bypass some of that HR filter. And so that's obviously part of it, is just being able to get your foot in the door, whether it's your credentials or a combination of your credentials and your networking ability. That is the first step, right? Now, obviously, the second step is having the actual interview skills themselves, because let's be honest, interviewing is very much a skill. And that's actually why I created the top 10 pen testing interview questions. you need to know, because I've been through a number of these through my career now, and there's certain ones that just kept coming up and they're very relevant. And I would hate for you guys to go into an interview and get those wrong when it's absolutely for free, that you can just go down to the description below, check them out, and not have to worry about those anymore. It's also going to give you a better foundational understanding of these, because a lot of them are centered around core cybersecurity topics that you need to know anyways. Even if you're not looking for a job right now, I think it would still be beneficial. But beyond just that, having that bit of information there, it's also a skill. So you're going to have to go through some iterations of it. Your first interview just won't be your best interview. It's as simple as that. It's going to take a little bit of, getting the reps in and all of that stuff, of course, just like anything else, right? But another thing that you need, another skill, is, of course, the actual skill itself as a pen tester. So us as pen testers and red teamers, we are, our day-to-day job is extremely technical. So it's not enough. Like some blue team positions, the main thing you need is they focus more on the more theoretical stuff, like the schooling stuff, and stuff like CISP and all of that. And that makes sense for what they do, because a lot of the stuff is like, especially if you work with just managing security controls and compliance and stuff like that, it's less of a hands-on technical role, let's just say, than a red team or pen tester, right? But for us, since what we do is so hands-on keyboard, if you will, there's just no way around the fact that we need this skill set. And employers are starting to realize that more and more now as well. If you want to work for any halfway decent pen testing team, red team, then they're going to make sure that the people they hire are qualified from that technical standpoint as well. And it's very likely that you get faced up against some kind of technical challenge, some kind of technical skill assessment. So that is where, learning the skill set, if you're watching these videos, I think that's a great start. But also going beyond just watching the videos and practicing it for yourself. Do some CTFs, set up your lab environment, and just get your feet wet with all of this. And over time, be a part of the community as well. And over time, you will acquire this skill set for sure. And one thing that was really crazy to me is that, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why this is the case, I remember several months ago, I think it was around October, November of last year, I just looked through the leaderboards and some of the different CTF sites like Hack the Box and stuff like that. And I just scrolled down, and because they tell you what country, on Hack the Box, they'll tell you what country the people are from. And I was just scrolling through the top people, the top leaderboards, and there's like no Americans like anywhere. I checked recently, I think it's a little better, but still, it's like very rare to find an American. And you see a lot of people, Germans and stuff like that, especially even India as well. I know we have a lot of Indian viewers. A lot of you guys definitely been on the grind there and representing for sure. But yeah, for whatever reason, there's just so few Americans that have this skill set. And I think a lot of companies would also kind of echo that issue. But let's just be honest here. There's so many open opportunities out there. It doesn't really matter what country you're from. You're going to have an opportunity to get in this field if you really want one. The job is there for you. But I just wanted to give an extra emphasis on it for you Americans. You guys you have no excuse. Let's go. I think, one of the problems is that a lot of Americans are pretty lazy, and I'm sure that everyone here that's really tried to pursue this quickly saw, how difficult it is to truly be lazy as a pen tester. If you want to really excel, if you want to really develop yourself, because there's always more to learn, and try harder is the mantra, I suppose, right? And that doesn't sit well with a lot of us Americans, right? We just want to be lazy sometimes. So definitely there's a huge opportunity if you can break the mold there. So definitely, if you want to get into more technical content, maybe you're fired up now, you want to get in this field, you want to make it happen, then go ahead and check out some of the technical content that I have on the screen right now. I'll see you guys right over in those videos. Thanks for watching.